Hello and welcome to another episode of Bum with a Wrench. I'm your host Daniel as always. And as you can see, we got all the vehicles here in the shop. It was a, a very long day today. Started at 7 a.m., met the hoist guy over at the old building. Now I have my 2-post over here. I didn't really have to do anything helping him out. Just had to open this building. He's just got it on the floor over here because we're waiting to have the concrete guy come out. He needs to cut a 3-foot square pad, and then I can't remember how many inches deep it has to be. I'll talk to the hoist guy, obviously. And then at like 4,000 PSI concrete, got to let it dry. Then he comes back, puts the hoist in place. You know, looking around, kind of paying attention to the electrical in this shop, I'm not seeing anything like 220 or anything. 220 is pretty standard. It's just 2 legs of 110. So generally every house has 2 separate legs of 110 going to it. You know, it's pretty standard through buildings and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I mean, there is that off chance that this doesn't have 2 legs of 110 coming to it. I don't know. I guess I'll find out, right? So, need to put that down, have the hoist guy come in. Also, my welders, I need a bare minimum 240. And let's see, tire machines need electricity. My compressor. So, it's gonna be interesting talking to an electrician to see what this place actually has for power. I know I don't see any kind of big power on the walls or anything, so whatever kind of work they were doing in here, I don't think it required a lot of power. As long as the power's there and I don't gotta pull anything off the pole to run more power to the building, then I should be fine. Like I said, most houses, they have 2 legs of 110 going to, really that's all you need. I can configure most of my machines. Well, I can configure all the machines to run off that. So, you know, generally if you have 3-phase, you know, that kind of stuff, it's better on the machines, but they do run the other way as well. So, yeah, again, real happy to see everything here. I'm starting to get withdrawals, missing this car. She's almost done. Tomorrow starts the new process of moving all the pallets here. So I remember I was talking to you guys about pallets and how many pallets I ordered. The buddy of mine came in this morning to work and he said, oh yeah, you know, it was 2 dozen pallets. Yeah, no, we had, 2 dozen pallets, and then we reordered another 2 dozen pallets. So 4 dozen pallets. We've almost got all of those filled up over there at the other shop. So I think there's only like maybe 6 or 7 pallets that we don't have anything sitting on them, and we still got to pack up more stuff. So needless to say, there's a lot of pallets that need to come to this building. My plan is to do at least 6 pallets. I think I could fit 6 pallets on the trailer, strap them down, and then try and do 4 trailer loads per day, which should take a couple days to get that done. So, but just moving the pallets over here is one step in it. The other step is actually setting the shelving back up, putting everything away in its right place. Trying to organize it and find a way that it needs to go into the building. Because remember, I still got to work out of this, so we can't just throw it on a shelf. It's, you know, when you're talking nuts and bolts and supplies and that kind of stuff, it's got to be easily accessible. There might even be a shelf or 2 out here just for that kind of stuff. I don't know. I haven't really decided that yet. I do have some shelving that came with the building, so that's good. It's a little big, but you know, it'll work for nuts, bolts, some supplies like that. Probably have to move them around a little bit. And then, like I showed you guys before, I got some pallet racking here on this back wall. As you notice, all of the pallet racking in here is now gone. But I saved that stuff on the back wall because that's kind of cool. I can put motors up there, transmissions, that kind of stuff. Big items I can store over there out of the way, which is really kind of nice. We've quickly learned that the roll-up door into this building is not that good. It goes up and down just fine, but its location to, you know, where it is on the building and the angle it is in relative to the parking lot, is not ideal, but it does work. Once the cars are actually running and I'm not trying to trailer them up to the door and get them in the building, it'll be fine. But the distance between the door and this office right here isn't very big. So by the time you get a car off and you're trying to bring it in, a lot of times what you're doing is just using the skateboards, like which underneath the, or roller skates, underneath the front of the El Camino. Honestly, really the only reason these are here is because it had the jankiest steering shaft on this thing. They actually had one of the upper control arm bolts had a hole in it, and then was holding a bracket that had a Heim joint that came through and then hit another universal that went down to this Flaming River rack on the front of it. Horrible. That was just so, yeah, backwoods built. So I immediately got rid of that, which now I'm kind of regretting, because even though the car's all together, I got no way to steer it. So, it didn't make it very easy having no steering on the front of that car, and then having to move it around in the shop. But with the roller skates, it actually works out pretty good. So, another cool tool besides the roller skates there, if you guys are ever in a position where, like me, you're moving around a lot of cars that don't run, you got to push them, especially if you're using a rack. All right, sorry about that, guys. In this building complex, it's kind of like one of those like business parks where you got a bunch of different units around. The building we had was kind of neat. It was its own building on its own street, but this is kind of like a business park, which is fine. But there's neighbors that you got to deal with. Hopefully none of them really care about the cars, but either way, one of the things they have in this little business park is a pantry, a food pantry. And so every Tuesdays between 4 and 7, they come and it's worse than Disney. It's like Disneyland, but with people in cars. The cars are all the way down the street, like as far as you can see, farther than what you can see. They're lined up all along the edge, and then they bring them in this business park, and they loop them all the way around like a snake, all the way up to the front, and then people are getting their donated food and stuff. There's a lot of people in this country right now that are really struggling. So, if you can do something to help, go out and donate some non-perishable foods to these pantry houses. I know they would, surely appreciate that. I know we just got something in the mail, like one of those brown bags where you put the food in it and you leave it by your mailbox. The mailman picks it up. So we actually just did that this morning. But I do have that pantry down at the end right there. At first, I got to tell you, it was a little bit nerving. Jason's probably laughing right now because he was with me. But it was a little bit frustrating because nobody ever told me anything like that was going to happen when we spent a lot of money leasing this building. Now come to find out, on Tuesdays after 4 o'clock, there's just no way you could get in or out of this building. I can still get in, you just got to kind of fight through the cars. So basically my plan tomorrow is one, to let Jason go before all of this starts because he's got to go home. And then two, I don't know, maybe I'll peel out of here at 4 o'clock as well. Probably not, because there's still a lot of things I can do in here and I don't live too far away. Usually I'm out of here about 6 o'clock, so if it ends at 7, I'm hoping, the amount of people dies down a little bit, so that I can actually get my car out. They got me out last time, but the parking attendant guy had to come and, push people out of the way and, make room for my car to get out. But anyways, enough of that. There was a lady that came. She was asking about the food pantry. She thought they were, doing that today. So I told her, no, it's tomorrow between 4 and 7. She's never been in that line. So if you can, get out there and donate some food. There's a lot of families and people out there that could really use that. So But back to the cars. Happy to see everything here. I got my 2 Galaxies up here. I think when I was talking to you guys last, I was telling you about the drill winch that I have. And in case I already explained that, just, fast forward this part. Long time ago when we were putting the Jeep together, actually, Jason, my buddy that was working for me, he ordered the winch for that Jeep, and I think he's the one who saw that thing online. I don't know. Somehow we ended up with it. I have to tell you, if you're like me and you move a lot of cars around, especially when you got to put them on hoist or pull them up a hill or move them, any way like that where you can't just push it. This thing it's worth $1 billion. I got to tell you. You just hook a chain to the back of the hoist. You clip the winch onto it, clip the winch onto the car, and then you run it with a drill motor. And I'm telling you what, if we didn't have that, we'd still be here trying to push those Galaxies up onto that hoist. It's the most useful tool that I have in this whole shop, and I got a lot of tools. I'm telling you, we wouldn't, I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have that. Maybe push it with the forklift. But what if you've got a really nice car like the Camaro or the El Camino that needs to go up on the hoist and you got no way to move it? I'm telling you, Warren makes the drill winch. Not sponsored, love to be. If you're listening, hey, I'll definitely do you some commercials. But that is an awesome tool. Check it out. If you're like me and you got to move around a lot of cars like that in weird positions like this, get you one of those. You're going to absolutely love it. And your car will love it too because you're not going to damage it. Great tool. We use that a lot today. So again, everything's here. The old 66 7-liter, the yellow car that's completely destroyed, I'm calling that my lifelong project, is up there on the hoist. My 65 convertible that I'm now thinking I'm probably going to strip down, sell part off and sell what I can, and then the parts that I need for my 7-liter I'll keep. The more and more we looked at that car, the more and more we discovered that it's pretty rotted underneath. The frame is completely gone. If I were to even try and put that car back on the road, I would definitely have to find a frame for it. And honestly, I mean, it is a 65 Galaxy. It's in really nice shape. The floors, they need to be replaced. I do have all the floor pans, but I can use those on my 66 7-liter. So what I'm thinking is that I'm just gonna scrap the car out, but I'm not gonna just send it to the junkyard the way it sits. Of course, I'm gonna take all the trim, everything that I can salvage off of the car, including the quarter panels and some of the inner structures and stuff that are still good. You never know, there might be somebody out there that needs those parts. Also, that was an AC car, so I do have a lot of AC parts for that, which are extremely hard to find. So I'm gonna be posting all of that, as well as cleaning up the Mustang and trying to sell that thing. So if anybody's out there interested in that Mustang, you can hit me up on daniel@bumwithawrench.com. Send me an email. Let me know. Just say, hey, interested in the Mustang. I'll send you some pictures, do you a little driving video or something if you want. If you're local in the area, you're more than welcome to come test drive the car. But I got to get rid of that one. I got to strip down the 65 convertible. Salvage all of those parts. That's going to take me quite a while, as well as build this car, build that car, and finish that car. So got a lot of work. So if you're new to the channel, there's a lot of work going on after we get done with this whole building experience and making this into something fun and cool. The other building, it took me years to build that, but it was a pretty cool building, I would say. Now I'm not going to do the polished floors and the pretty parts and that kind of stuff, but I am going to have a lot of the machines, have a lot of the fun stuff in here, and keep it clean, keep it nice, keep it organized. Really, that's what makes a really good shop, is something clean, nice, and organized. If you're paying attention to the old shop before, it was a little chaotic with what was around. The reason being is because we kind of revamped half of that building. That whole building used to be dedicated just to cars. I actually had a roll-up door that went through into the offices, and so I had a whole carpeted area where a lot of cars like this would sit. I actually had another double car stacker inside the office area, as well as another single inside the office area. Had quite a few cars in there. I could really pack that full. You know, that's back when we had Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLaren, you know, that kind of stuff. But these really nice classics and stuff were in there as well. And so when all of that changed and we decided to make that into more office space, because the owner was actually thinking about leasing that space out, I lost all of that space. Some of those offices along the back wall right there, I had 2 of them that were storage rooms, where I had all those parts. Remember all the shelving that was out there in the shop? None of that used to be there. All of that used to be in storage rooms. So the shop was really clean, really nice. Just the equipment and the cars, it was always kept. So it kind of got a little bit chaotic there toward the end, bringing everything out into the shop. But it actually worked out well, because when we went to sell the building, the people that came to look at it loved the fact that it had this nice office area and then a nice big shop area as well. So, but you know, life goes on. I'll turn this into something cool. Again, won't be polished floors, but I think it'll be something that's clean, organized, and pretty cool. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you stick around for builds like this. If you're returning, thank you guys. You know, I looked at had like 107 views or something on that last video. It's funny to me that many people are interested in this, but at the same time, you know, I'm grateful. You know, I would probably be one of those 107 watching, you know, seeing what's going on. But I just happen to be the guy on the other side of the camera, which is a very strange feeling, honestly. You know, I just started this to kind of make a video document, you know, what I did when I was younger. That way when my kids grow up, they can watch these videos and see their dad when he was, you know, mid-40s instead of however old they are when they watch these, if they ever watch them. So, but really that's honestly the reason why I did this, just to have a little bit of fun, you know, play with the cars and show my kids, you know, what I did when I was younger. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, you know, like and subscribe, tell a friend, and you know, as always, until next time, guys.